On the news, Accountant General of the Federation suspended indefinitely over 80 billion naira probe. Minister of Information says fate of ministers will withdraw from seeking elective offices to be decided by President Buhari. And Sanwo-Olu reimposes ban on Okada riders after sound engineer's murder. We're glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The Accountant General of the Federation, Hamad Idris, has been suspended indefinitely by the Minister of Finance, Budgets and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. This comes following his arrest by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over an alleged 80 billion naira fraud. The Minister of Finance, in a letter dated May 18, 2022, said the suspension without pay was to allow for proper and unhindered investigation in line with public service rules. The letter further explained that the suspended AGF is not expected to come to office or contact any official in his office except for any disciplinary hearing that may be advised. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says President Muhammadu Buhari would decide the fate of ministers who declared interest in elective offices but later backed out. Mohammed said this on Wednesday while briefing journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. The president had last week asked all members of his cabinet seeking elective offices to resign on or before May the 16th. Speaking on the outcome of his meeting with Facebook, the minister further explained that he has asked Facebook to prevent the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, from using its platform to incite violence. The minister added that Facebook has no justification for using its platform for the organization whose aim is to destabilize the country.
I had a very fruitful meeting with Facebook yesterday. And at that meeting, we expressed our displeasure that Facebook was becoming a platform of choice for those who stay outside Nigeria, in particular, to incite violence, killings, burning of government properties, killing of soldiers and policemen. And that they should do more than what they are doing now in looking at the contents which are unwholesome, which are being used on their platforms. Incidentally, the BBC did a documentary on this particular issue, and it found out that some of them who call themselves social media warriors in England, in France, and other places, have in recent times, been using the Facebook platform to incite people to violence in Nigeria. And we've all seen the real life impact of those warmongering. And we did want Facebook to please do more than what they are doing now. And I must say that their response was quite encouraging. They said they were going to do much more.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reimposed the ban on Okada in 6 local government areas of the state. The governor gave the order while speaking with all DPOs and area commanders across the state at the Lagos House in Ikeja. He revealed that other security agencies would join in the enforcement, which would take effect from June 1st, 2022. Affected local government areas are the whole of Ikeja, Surulere, Etiosa, Lagos Mainland, Lagos Island, and Apapa. A mob of Okada riders had last week attacked and killed a sound engineer, Sunday David Umo, at the Admiralty Way, Lekki, over an argument on 100 naira fare.
the whole of Ikeja local government, the whole of Surulere local government, the whole of Etiosa local government, the whole of mainland local government, the whole of Apapa local government, and the whole of Lagos Island local government. A total ban on this and all of the highways effective from the 1st of June. This is the first banning that we're going to be embarking on, so that others know that within a short while, it's either they get out or they look for something else to do. And from 1st of June, there are LCDs that are underneath them. We're going to publish them. We're going to list all of them. And so we're given the notice now, right, where you can begin to do your recce, begin to do, your strategy. From the 1st of June, please, we want all of the Okada to be completely off this major road. Let people begin to make their own independent alternative. We have actually even provided those alternatives. We have bought last mile buses for them. Those are some of the things we said. They are effective, they are working. We have the medium capacity buses. We have the high capacity buses. And before the end of the year, we're also still bringing rail onto this corridor. So government has provided it. We've built terminals, we've provided jetties for them, and all of these things are also means, of alternative means of transportation. We will not sit back and ensure that, criminal-minded people will use that mode of transportation to now continue to perpetrate crime and criminality in Lagos. Life have been lost on a daily basis. Accidents have been happening on a daily basis. There's been complete breakdown of law and order, and they do not even respect any form of the laws that we have on the state again.
To give more perspective on the matter, I spoke to public affairs analyst Nelson Akujimi about the motorcycle ban and the culture of inconsistency in the implementation of policies in Nigerian governance.
If the government has come up with a ban or with a policy, it also builds on any responsible government, to introspect, to do a post-mortem of that policy and see how it is achieving its desired end. And where it is not doing that, modifications have to come in. So in this case of the ban on Okada, you recognize that, the ban has to be a thoroughly thought out process. The society itself is on ease with what has become the security threats being posed by Okada riders, by Okada as a means of transportation. And be that as it may, one expects that whatever policies government put in place, the efficiency of that policy can only be felt if the citizenry are also on top of their game. And what do I mean by this? The call for the ban on Okada today came majorly from the people living in Lagos who have seen the threats posed to life and property by Okada. You also have the latest incident that happened in Lekki, where we were told that a sound engineer was killed by Okada riders because of a scuffle over 100 naira or so. But be that as it may, the threat posed to the security of life and property in Lagos by Okada riders, as well as the threat to even their own lives, is something no responsible government should just gloss over or decide to turn a blind eye.
But that was public affairs analyst Nelson Akujimi sharing his thoughts on the ban on motorcycle operation in 6 LGAs in Lagos. Residents of Trademore Estate in Lugbe area of Abuja have described the 48 hours given to them to evacuate their houses for a planned demolition as insensitive. This comes as the Federal Capital Development Authority's FCDA marked over 96 houses for demolition to prevent flood disaster. Our correspondent Emeka Amako compiled this report from Abuja.
This is Trademore Estate, one of the many estates along the Lugbe axis in Abuja. It also has a notorious flooding problem, one the Federal Capital Development Authorities say it is determined to control. To this end, The FCDA says it has planned a massive demolition of over 96 structures, including residential buildings, a police station, schools and shopping complexes in the estate, which the agency says is responsible for flooding in the area. But the residents of Chademo Estate say this is not the best solution. They want the authorities to tackle the problem holistically.
Our residents are gathered in concern and in fear. Development control were in our estate yesterday, to be specific, to mark houses that are supposed to be demolished. Now, the concern is this. From the papers, we learned that 23 houses were approved. But yesterday, from the count that we did, over 96 houses have been marked. The question now remains, why 96? And that alone has created fear in our residents.
The residents have also accused the FCDA authorities of issuing a short demolition notice. They insist residents have nowhere to go within 48 hours.
We were not given any notice. We only went for a meeting on Friday, and it was abrupt. He just said, we were talking well. All of a sudden they said that the minister has approved it and they're coming for demolition. Demolition, no notice. Demolition, the residents should vacate under 48 hours. We have sick residents, some that just gave birth. Where are they going to go? Schools just resumed. Even some of the schools that haven't even experienced flood were marked. And the astonishing thing is, we asked, okay, if this demolition is done, will it stop the flooding? They said no, that they just want to save lives and properties. If it is not going to stop the flooding, why demolish?
In its defense, the FCDA says notice on demolition had been issued for more than 3 years, which gives the residents ample time to relocate.
Flood will not give you 1 hour. The day the cloud is darkened, the day the cloud releases the rain, it falls down and the flood comes and life is taken again at that area. Nobody will ask us why. But I think for now the minister is so committed to actually cleaning many areas around Lokogoma, Trademore and several other areas of flood disaster. I want to stop flood disasters in those areas. So we did not just give 48 hours. Most of those properties you see have been marked 2 years ago. Some marked about over a year plus ago. And there have been series of engagement with the people. I think we even had one on the 13th.
Flooding has been a major problem in many parts of Nigeria, which has claimed lives and led to loss of properties worth billions of naira.
Brain drain in Nigeria's pharmaceutical industry, as well as overdependence on importation of medicine, has been identified as some of the major challenges bedeviling the sector. At the 34th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Symposium of the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, stakeholders agree that the current brain drain experience in the pharmaceutical industry demands urgent attention and collaborative efforts between professionals and the government. Details in this report. Drug importation has been linked to West Africa's problems of substandard and falsified medicines. The president of the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, Cecilia Igwilo, made this known at the college's 34th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Symposium held in Lagos. As a solution, Igwilo advocated local production of medicine as well as cooperation between pharmaceutical industries, regulatory bodies, drug distributors and end users.
Local production assures the quality of medicines in any nation where the production is being carried out. Because the regulatory agencies, they pay unscheduled visits from time to time. And even if you're going to enter into importation, you ensure that you import from genuine sources. That is the anchor of any healthcare. If the medicines are not safe, then the people are not safe.
On his part, the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Cyril Isufo, explained that the efforts of regulatory agencies as well as sound training of pharmacists would go a long way in ensuring medicine security in Nigeria as well as West Africa.
We have the regulatory agencies like NAFDAC helping us to make sure that fake and substandard drugs are not being distributed in the country. All the ports are well secured, and then people should also make sure that they buy drugs from reputable persons. And pharmacists are trained on drugs and should be able to advise the public appropriately and ensure that you get the right drug at the right dose at the right time and in appropriate containers that are safe.
While Nigeria and other countries are gradually recovering from the impact of COVID-19, its effect on sectors such as the pharmaceutical sector still lingers.
During the COVID pandemic, even those that were coming from outside the country, their borders were closed to us, so we couldn't even get what we were getting. And that is why the theme of this conference is focusing on medicine security. We must secure our country to be sure that our medicines are produced here. Even the ones that are coming from outside, they are safe for our people.
Africa's overdependence on drug importation has not only put the lives of Africans at risk, but also led to loss of scarce resources, as Nigeria and other African countries spend at least $14 billion on importation of pharmaceutical products needed on the continent. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News. We'll take a break here, but still to come, World Health Organization faults China's zero approach, says no match for Omicron variant. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The Accountant General of the Federation, Hamad Idris, has been suspended indefinitely by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. This comes following his arrest by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over an alleged 80 billion naira fraud. The Minister of Finance, in a letter dated May the 18th, 2022, said that the suspension without pay was to allow for proper and unhindered investigation in line with public service rules. We also told you that Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reimposed the ban on motorcycles in 6 local governments of the state. The governor gave the order while speaking with all DPOs and area commanders across the state at the Lagos House in Ikeja. He revealed that other security agencies will join in the enforcement, which would take effect from June 1st, 2022. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google+ at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. In COVID-19 updates, the U.S. Regulatory Health Agency has approved a booster vaccine dose for children between the ages of 5 and 11. The Food and Drug Administration says it hopes the third dose will help increase the young population's protection against COVID-19, while the U.S. is currently seeing a rise in cases. The country is seeing a rise in cases and hospital admittances from Omicron subvariants that are more contagious than the original Omicron variant, which swept the country in the winter season. The World Health Organization has repeated its assertion that China's zero-COVID strategy is not sustainable, but added that every country must decide what policy to pursue. At a media briefing on Tuesday, WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said that the highly infectious nature of the Omicron variant requires a different approach. The WHO boss added that the coronavirus has changed significantly since it was first identified, stressing that every country must decide its own policies to tackle the pandemic.
the zero COVID strategy is not sustainable. And the reason behind that is the virus has changed significantly. And the change of the behavior of the virus needs a shift. And in addition to that, I have also said we know the virus better, and we have better tools, including vaccines. So that's why the handling of the virus should actually be different from what we used to do at the start of the pandemic. And with regard to what we do with China, of course, we have given them the advice, both at expert level and high level. But with regard to the choice of policies, I think it will be up to each and every country to make that choice.
Well, we'll take a break here and return with more stories in business. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Mary Kani is on standby to bring us more stories in business. Over to you, Mary.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The Nigerian Ports Authority has said it will introduce new requirements for shipping service providers, saying those who fail to meet the new requirements may have their licenses revoked, as it is dissatisfied with the operations of the barge operators operating on the nation's inland waterways. In an interactive session with journalists, the authority's managing director, Mohammed Bello Koko, said NPA had noticed some of the barges sinking, containers falling off at berth, some bruising vessels discharging at berth, a development he said was not acceptable. He further disclosed that the organization wants to set new standards to ensure quality services among the operators, as he added that barges that were not safe still operate in the system. And the National Bureau of Statistics says the average retail price paid by consumers for premium motor spirit increased to 172 naira 61 kobo in April 2022. This is according to the NBS Premium Motor Spirit Price Watch for April 2022 released in Abuja on Tuesday. The report said the increase indicates a 3.74% increase when compared to the value recorded in April 2021 at 166 naira 38 kobo. We'll take a break and return with stock market review. More profit taken by investors at the Nigerian exchange has driven the all-share index further to the bearish zone, with the market trading down at 0.07%. Investors were very much on Academy and Berger, mostly profit-taking activities on these stocks, and that put them on the losers counter for the day, with both equities shedding 85 kobo. Now, compared with the previous NGX trading day, today's data shows 11% improvement in volume, 55% improvement in turnover, but 8% decline in deals. Let's now turn our attention to some selected global stocks. The FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei. Only Asia's stock is trading high at 2.64%, while in the US and UK, stocks fell sharply on Wednesday after another major retailer warned of rising cost pressures, confirming the fears over inflation that have sent major benchmarks to big losses this year. That's why we can see that the FTSE is trading down at 2.55%, while the Dow Jones is also trading down at 1.48%. That's the latest stock market update. Over to you, Folashade, for the rest of the news.
Well, many thanks, Mary, for that update. And now on the foreign scene, Austria has presented an emergency plan to reduce its reliance on Russian gas over potential supply cuts from Moscow as tensions soar over the war in Ukraine. Under the plan, the country aims to reduce the share of gas it consumes from Russia from 80 to 70% of the total. For the first time, the government will build a strategic reserve with non-Russian gas accessible to all industries, which would cover total consumption for 2 months in the winter. It will also bar storage facilities from remaining empty. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Accelerate Plus has premiered the much-awaited Season 2 of popular comedy series Visa on Arrival. Fans finally get to witness the return of the mischievous visa officers Francis, Okoro, Hope and Charity as they deal with visa applicants from various backgrounds and decide who is eligible or ineligible to travel. Created by comedian Bovi Ugboma, the series stars Bovi himself, Real Worry Pikin, That Worry Girl, Temison Emmanuel, and also promises more wild and hilarious moments with special guest appearances from stars such as Shafi Bello, Dr. Dolo, Oyinbo Rebel, and Bisola Ayeola. Nigerian comedian and skit maker Josh Alfred, popularly known as Josh Too Funny, and his wife Bina Alfred have welcomed a baby boy they named Eden Alfred. The excited new parents took to their respective Instagram pages to announce the arrival of their bundle of joy as they shared a picture showing the legs of the child. The comedian married his wife Bina, who is Ethiopian by the way, in December 2020 in a quiet ceremony at the Ikoyi Registry, Lagos. Congratulations to the new parents. And that's all there is on the entertainment segment of News Now.
The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has congratulated the national U20 team for qualifying for the final of the WAFU U20 Championship in Niger Republic. The Flying Eagles beat Cote d'Ivoire 2-1 after extra time on Tuesday evening in a tightly contested semi-final encounter to book a place in Saturday's final, as well as qualify for the CAF U20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt in 2023. The Flying Eagles, who had earlier beaten the defending champion Ghana 2-0 and drew 2-2 with Burkina Faso, will face the Benin Republic in Saturday's final in Niamey. And still in sport, the month of May has been a busy month for the Football for Schools program, following launches in Guam, Guyana and Puerto Rico. It's a touchdown in Africa with the FIFA Foundation organizing a workshop in Djibouti on 9th to 12th of May. The three-day event comprised classroom-based theory models and practical sessions out on the pitch.
We've had 42, I believe, teachers over the 2 days, and they've been very engaged, very interested, asking a lot of questions. This morning in particular, we had a session where they led the conversation, and it went on for quite a while, which is a good sign. So I think they engage with the app. They understand the concept of what we're trying to do here, and as experienced PE teachers themselves, I think they can really use the material that we are providing with this program, both the mobile app and also the footballs for their schools. When it comes to the school, when it comes to the mass participation, Djibouti is football mad. You go in the streets, you go to the beach, everywhere you look there's kids playing football just outside the stadium, and later on in the stadium there will be people playing football. So I think in terms of school football and mass participation, Djibouti is well on its way because people have that passion for the game.
I need to wrap on our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde. Bye for now.